Speaking of getting ready, Degon, I'm ready to just get into this first game of the day. I'm getting word in my ear that the plane has, well, you can hear the buzz in the background. The plane is getting ready. So we're going to get dropping in here on the Erangel, that north-south, western-leaning route, giving a lot of options to all these players. Oh, it's good to be back, Degon. You know, we're not in the studio, and that's okay, because we're still getting to check out amazing NA PUBG Mobile. I'm glad to be back once again.
Yeah, I know. I would rather have it no other way, side by side, casting it with you, buddy, as we head down to Erangel and kick things off. And again, we've talked about a lot of teams. Another team that comes to mind here, Tribe Gaming. They've gone over a makeshift roster since the last PMCO back in November. And these guys now trying something different. You got King A here, the former Omen elite man, who will be, you know, giving his talents on over to this squad, as well as Seagut, been there, the long-standing member here of Tribe. You got Memo, Alucard, and the substitute Kraken, who was the first member of the original Tempo Storm squad that got benched and then eventually moved on. So you've got 5 veteran fraggers on this team. I'm so excited to see how things are going to pan out here.
Yeah, I mean, pan out. Well, maybe we'll see some literal panning happening here. Yeah. We'll see. But no, I think what's amazing about this Degon is I harken back, you know, looking at so many of these names I remember from the early days, back in season 1, beginning of 2019, when sort of the NA scene for PUBG Mobile hadn't really started developing yet as much. I mean, I'm reminiscent of like hashtag SignCon before like Omen Elite was even a thing, and how all these players have gone on, and just the storylines there. And it's amazing to see how many of these players have not only been able to find success, but have thrived and have sort of spread out across the entire scene, seeding all of these amazing new teams. And now we get to see sort of the culmination of that here a year and a half later, which is crazy to think about just how far we've come. But if we get, you know, deep dive down into this map and I look towards this first circle, that's going to pose some questions to these teams. How do they react to this? Things are going to get spicy.
Yeah, this is a not a friendly one. Not a friendly one, to say the least. Sharp shift down, looking like military base, and gonna reward a couple of our teams that have already dropped there in GCR and 303 Esports. Now, 303 Esports, I'm very familiar with them. They are staples in the PUBG community. They host their own tournaments, and I love the fact that they're now getting themselves into PUBG Mobile. The idea here that they will start being another staple, and this whole community of North American PUBG Mobile can continue to grow. 303 is still looking for that marquee win, though, as an organization. They've had some good teams, they've had some fantastic players, but they haven't had that like moment to really stamp their claim to saying, hey, look, we're here, we're ready to go, you guys have to deal with us. The same way that a team like what we're watching right now has. Tempo Storm has been all over, synonymous with North American PUBG Mobile, so much so that no one even goes to Pachinki. It's Tempo Chinky. Like, no one ever goes on over there because they know that's their spot. So, you know, every team trying to play catch up to them, including 303 Esports. A good way to do it is here at the Mobile Open, and with a circle like that, they'll get themselves a fantastic start.
Oh, absolutely. We are seeing, looks like a little bit of action here to start this off, though. Joker, he's starting things off, potentially facing down 2 members here, and they've now got, I think, optics on this. They're aware. Nades are being primed on both sides. Degon, we asked for some early action, and I think through the ether, they have heard us in a cool little 2v1 situation. Fortunately, this man has 2 shotguns. Anytime you're dual-wielding shotguns, that's potentially a good time. When your opponents have ARs, though, AKs, makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah, you get one shot at it, literally. And you know what? Square One, they have multiple shots at it. Square One going to get the first knock and flush of Season 5 of the Mobile Open. Good job on them. Again, they are one of the top half qualifiers so far in the playoffs, looking to try and make a name for themselves. Team Snake, they're the ones that dropped out. So Joker out of the way and Snake down to only 3 members to go.
I mean, it makes sense. We have to start at square one after all. I actually don't hate this, as we are seeing Tempo with the early rotate. Talked about that earlier. We'll see which team's going to be able to do this. Taking on Joey from Glacier. He needs to move in a little bit faster than glacial speeds here. Zooming on out with the buggy. And we'll see if the fancy feet, the driving, can get this one done. And he's able to get himself down behind a rock. But oh my goodness, It's like storming the beach right now, Degon. How do you deal with this?
Yeah, this is not so good. Joey tried to get cheeky there, and unfortunately for him, he's hit the Hornet of all Hornets, and Tensa's just going to go right on through with the drive-by. Spec says, welcome to the big league, son, and Joey gets blown up immediately there.
Oh, Joey, that's not the team you want to run into early. Out on his own, maybe not expecting teams to rotate down this quick, but my goodness, Degon. I mean, look, if you're a new team coming into this and you've yet to play in the playoffs and you're up against mentally these other amazing top teams, and then the first thing you do is get taken out by Tempo, that's a make or break moment. You know what I mean? That's a make or break. You either got to say, look, you got to laugh it off and say, man, that's just funny. That's just unlucky. Or you can let it get to you. And I hope it's the former. I hope the Glaciers does not let them get to their heads at all. I hope they can come back and rally here, because there are so many other great teams they're going to need to face down over the course of these 8 matches here they're going to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, and if you're Glacier, I think you do chalk it up to being unlucky. Glacier, one of the 2 teams inside military base that dropped early with 303, the first team that rotates through. The first team, you're like, yeah, we dropped here. We're going to reap the rewards of us always being here. This is our drop spot. We're ready to go. We got blessed by the Circle Gods. The first team you run into is frickin' Tempo Storm. That's so unlucky. That is so unlucky for Glaciers. You're just like, yeah, you know what? If it was someone worse, they wouldn't have chased me, and I would have felt more comfortable, but they immediately swarmed me. They immediately rushed me, and I died. We find out it's Tempo. I don't feel so bad anymore.
No, absolutely not. And again, Tempo been in here from the beginning, from the outset. And I remember Tempo Storm. I casted them back in Heroes of the Storm in like 2016. This is an organization that has been around forever and has really become a mainstay in the PUBG mobile scene. So it kind of feels about right that they should pick up one of our first kills here in the playoff. But we have to talk about Wildcard. We have to talk about this all-star roster. Champions from Season 4. I like this light gray color they're rocking here. I feel like this is going to be really easy to pick out on a map, Kappa. It's going to just blend right in. It's going to be tough. Okay.
Yeah. Question mark.
Question mark.
Yeah. Wildcard again. I think the red color, not the greatest to wear while you're playing PUBG Mobile, just because, red health, that means like bad health. So they've been rocking the gray and looking pretty sweet with it here as they continue to rotate on through. Circle, not so friendly to them. I think they'll be fine, though. They are all in one vehicle, which does give me a bit of a scare. A bit of a scare. But they're rotating on through the western part of the map, driving past Hospital, going down towards Quarry. And we'll probably just have to wait on the northern side of the bridge. All the teams now that have moved early are hedging their bets. It looks like it's definitely a military circle. However, if it ends up bouncing back north and for some reason sticking around Ferry Pier or Farm or Pachinki, then it's going to be chaos all over both bridges. So I think it's okay for teams to think about hovering near the northern side of military base or the southern side of the major region of the map. Like, don't fully hedge your bets. I think that's okay.
Because once you commit to that bridge, that's a whole other realm. That's a whole other thing that you've got to do at that point. You want to make the trek to cross and over, and we can see Tempo Storm keeping eyes on that exact situation right there. Not exactly sitting too far up to potentially camp, quote unquote, but at least just getting knowledge and intel on teams that are going to make the early rotation, because there's a very good chance it's going to be Millie, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So if you spend all that time, the effort to cross on over, having to go all the way back again, not ideal.
Not so ideal. Also not ideal is how crowded these spots are starting to get on the military island.
Oh,
a lot of these teams now are doing exactly what I said earlier. They're kind of hovering north, and they're hovering near the bridges just in case things get a little too dicey. And you got to be careful. You don't want to lose someone so early, even though this is a very clear start to the circle down there. You want to make sure you don't lose someone early and then you're forced to play with only 3. Because one thing that we always talk about is the fact that the successful teams are the ones that have the most people up at the end. Forehead, just stay alive, Forehead. But that's not easy. That's not easy when a circle shifts like this.
It's not easy when you've got Tempo Storm shooting at you long range like this either, Degon. We already see the first knock there onto Bobo. And it's square one. The team that started off the lobby with that early frag now just sort of peeking over at the neighborly hill. And Tempo Storm is just camping out. Again, they know that now from that first knock. But Ice and crew are going to have to sort of rethink their positioning here and try and get back, utilizing those smokes. And of course, burning those smokes early means they're not going to have them once the circle starts to close on in. And that is such crucial utility. We see it all the time in those late game situations they've now got to use. And this is time, of course, Egon, they're not looting up. I mean, yeah, they're down here at military. It's not going to be a huge issue, but it's like, that little stuff makes a difference over time.
Yeah, definitely does. And you want to make sure you hold on to those, especially in PMPL. We've seen a lot of teams just drop all of their utility onto one guy, and he's the guy that's going to try and work his way into the circle, drop all the meds onto another guy. That's the person that's just going to med strat their way on up. And Omen Elite picking one up here onto Extreme Slayers. Extreme Slayers, our final qualifier. A slot in here is 16th in the lobby, and they meet Omen Elite, who is currently, after all the PMPL America scrims, the #1 team across all the Americas region. And that's why we saw the result that we saw. It was easy pickings there for Omen Elite to kick things off.
Oh, yes. And square one was able to get up Bobo there. So we are keeping an eye on this. Oh, my goodness. Endgame playing the slow play. Going to do long loot in North George and then just come down in edge creep. I don't hate that decision here. Look at the amount of teams, Degon, that have already early rotated onto military. This is actually wild. I thought your point there that we were going to see more people sort of creeping on the edge, the southern tip of the north, of like the mainland, but no. Instead, everybody just rotated on in, and they're going to be totally validated in doing so because we are going to see that new circle. It is going to be military, undoubtedly. Okay, normally, this is the amount of congestion that we see in like Circle 4. This is okay. This is going to be an action-packed game #1. I would not have it any other way.
Yeah, and if you're not a military-based player like myself, you're going to get acquainted very quickly with the different regions of military base, because this can go anywhere, right? It could go within the base. It could go to the buildings to the southwest. It could go to the buildings to the south. It could still move on over to Novo and just hard shift multiple times towards the east. And then you've got this, the hilly kind of tree infested area north of military base as well to keep an eye on. But most teams looking like they're going to double down, get close, if not into military base, as Omen Elite full sends it right on in. Following along with G25, our top qualifiers to get themselves on in. They still have to go. They might run into ESG, Eaststorm Gaming, on their bridge path across, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Ooh, that could potentially get exciting as we're jumping back on board now. Down to the military island, we see Omen Elite, Juicy, and crew. This is what we're talking about. Teams already going to look to just take some pot shots at their neighbors, try and take over as much real estate as humanly possible, as Jake and crew as well are getting into another little scuffle. We are going to see so much action here, Degon. Square one has not stopped fighting this entire game. They are continuing to put pressure on these teams. I love it. I mean, this is Nefarious here, another one of these up-and-coming squads who have made it here into the playoffs. We'll see if they're going to be Nefarious or Infamous here in this lobby, because no one wants to be that first team to get knocked out.
Yeah, well, it was our team that got the first knock that kicked things off in square one. It's poor Ice left all alone by himself. He's stuck, does have a buggy with him, but he's just forced to camp on out because all of his buddies have been knocked out. He's stuck between Valhalla and, as you said, Nefarious. And he's just going to camp this one out on the southern region of the map. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Probably not an active eye, because I don't think Ice is going to be moving anytime soon.
No, I mean, we do have a Glacier, Team Glacier in here, but Ice is going to have to channel that and just take it real slow. We'll see in a 20 to 40,000 years as things are going to get moving. But teams right now, I think we're going to see this very interesting moment, where everybody is just going to have their head on a swivel. Everyone's just going to be doing 360s, just trying to get some sense of who is around them, identify every potential angle where they can get shot from. I mean, that's what we're seeing Alucard doing right now. You know, we've called him the Devil of Erangel before, and I think we're going to see this again here. he's got the optics to play with. And teams that did get a little bit longer, Degon, to loot early, that did get their hands on some sniper rifles or some DMRs, that do have some of these better optics, they are going to be loving the next 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah. And Tribe, they actually swam across to get to military base. They didn't want to risk it on the bridge. And that's a play that they've done a couple times, including in the PMPL scrims, when they don't feel comfortable. They don't want to risk all the time that they spent looting up and then just be, you know, a delivery service for anybody. They're more than willing to swim on in. And by doing so, they did lose a little bit more time to max out their loot, but they took as much time as they needed and then swam across. So I love the fact that Tribe playing this one a little bit slower. They're going to hover around the northern foresty region that I was talking about earlier. Lots of hills there to play within. And it'll give them a jump on any team that rotates on out, including XS here, if the Slayers end up moving north out of the military base.
Oh boy, we do see what's likely going to be a confrontation. A little bit of squabble over real estate here, Degon. Samuro, he heard footsteps in the building in front of him. The rest of the team here of Extreme Slayers is going to try and move in. Snake Gaming right in front of them, though. They're going to try and take over this compound here in military. This is going to get... What, Siberia here, too? What are all these, like, ice references? What is happening, Degon? It's not winter anymore, fam. What is happening?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I have no clue. I have no clue where all these cold names are from, man. I think everyone is starting to hunker down, and because they've been stuck inside their houses for so long, kind of feels like winter when it snows all the time, and so everything's all about being cold and stuff.
Avoid Terper, play PUBG Mobile. Gotcha. All right, perfect. We do see G25, the team that came in here with one of the top standings in terms of overall scoring. Dinner is going to be here for the team as well, scouting things out. Sees Eaststorm Gaming just down the way, not taking shots. Trigger discipline, Degon. This is something I don't think we actually touch on enough here. The idea that knowing when to take your shots, when to take your fights is so important, because he knows Eaststorm's going to have to come to him. Look at this position on the map. They have to move into the circle. I could take a shot early, let them know that I'm here, let them know they're being watched, or I could wait for them to come right in range, let the whole team collapse, let the whole team get the shots in. That's exactly what we're going to see G25 doing here on the easternmost part of this bridge.
Yeah, PG, he was top fragger in Tempo Storm scrims a couple days ago. He's more than willing to get his nose in there and do the dirty work for a team. As ESG about to find out very, very soon as G25, our top qualifiers, decide to do so. And it looks like Brian and the rest of the guys are maybe wise to the information that that's not a safe place to go. Yeah, you can see him now in the distance. Iron sights. That's impressive for Brian. Maybe can't shoot him, but could definitely see a couple of bodies starting to move around as the circle shifts, hard shift north. And our boy Ice is going to have to move at some point.
Degon, this is probably, if you wanted a nice, relaxing mid-game, this is probably the worst circle that could humanly be you had for that. It's all exposed beach. There is like nowhere to go. There is nowhere to hide. There's going to be a lot of people prone, lying on out, sunbathing, except instead of, UV rays, it's bullets. Either way, not a great time. And this is just going to be a really, really chaotic, hectic, frenetic middle point here. ESG actually is going to be able to sort of chill on the very northernmost part of this, swim over when they need to, but they're going to run into G25, who did early rotate over, so they're still going to have to deal with G25 at some time, but they're running into Omen Elite. Meantime, Tribe is sort of owning the center of this circle right now, but that just means they're going to have to fight off all comers.
Well, Tribe actually just ran into Tempo Storm, and Tempo Storm said, thank you very much, we'll take that point. C got getting knocked out first, and so Tempo's like, all right, you have that spot, we'll take our point, we'll rotate around. Anyone that runs into us, we'll shoot him anyways. So Tempo Storm playing a little aggressive there. They're also in a 2-2 split before they decided to move on around. We'll keep an eye on how they're doing as we follow along with GCR. Now they're in a gunfight here in the middle of the map. Glacier, we saw them earlier get chunked in just a bit. And so these teams in military base, as it's starting to get a little bit more compressed, you have to go into the buildings. Everyone's going to start hearing each other, and eventually people are going to start stepping on each other's toes, and they're not going to like that.
Solitude's name is very fitting right now, Degon. He is alone in the world, surrounded by... Okay, he's dead. All right, well, I was going to make this whole, profound, deep analogy about Solitude's existence, but there it is.
Yeah, but you took too long. That's what happened.
I'm sorry. There's a time to turn on the rap god, and I didn't think that was it, and I learned my lesson. Siberia also learning lessons. Driving, difficult. Very difficult, in fact. So difficult. He's also now, wow, we are the worst luck. We are just the worst luck. Thank you so much, observers. We love you.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space to work with, as we've said, just all across this map. With Solitude going down, the last member of Glacier still alive is Illusions, and he has so many teams to go through right now. It's going to be difficult for him to work his way on over to any place on military base. He has SK right in front of him, also has Extreme Slayers there, and then 303 kind of hovering right outside military base. Outside, I think it's like a fuel station or like the guard station that's outside of military base. So he's got a lot to do.
We see here Extreme Slayers. Oh boy. Fantasy and crew, they're just clawing their way in. That's going to be a really exciting moment there.
Hey.
Speaking of excitement, we have Omen Elite, Tribe Gaming. We're going to be staring each other down across the road. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. As there's going to be a 2v2 situation happening right now. Just trying to cover the end here. There's so many windows you just have to keep your eye on. Alucard's over across the way. Tempo Storm is off in the distance. My goodness, Digon, we've wandered into the upper end of this group right now, and it seems like every single one of these teams could potentially do some damage to the others right now, as Tribe is already down 2 of these members. This is pretty disastrous. If Omen could take them out early here, this could be one of the favorites out so early in this first game.
Yeah, and again, it was because they ran into the team that is slightly more favored than them in the form of Tempo Storm so early on. Tempo Storm chunking Tribe down to 2. We also, in our ice cam and our cold weather synonym cam, Ice was taken down by Wildcard Gaming. They're your first teams knocked out of the group stage. Now Tempo making that move that you talked about earlier. Only Alucard left alive because they ran right on through and taken down all of Alucard's teammates. You can see driving right up by. Alucard, he has the door open. He's a crazy man. Is he thinking about possibly taking a shot here? Oh, Tensa! He's driving by, and it looks like they're just going to settle across the street in that building. And Alucard thinking about taking that shot. Oh, almost had the shot lined up there as Spectre and the rest of Tempo. Tensa. I don't know if they know, but Alucard is just holding his breath.
This is the most stressed Alucard has ever been. How does Rain not see this? Okay, he's taking shots. Not quite aware of where he's getting shot from, though. Alucard. They did spot him out. He did have to move. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe he just lived through that.
Yeah.
Talk about staring down the barrel, Deacon.
That information already given over. Alucard, he's trapped. And he has the AWM as well on his shoulder. So we now follow along with Wildcard. They're trying to make a cheeky rotation, and 2 members in the shed, 2 outside, and G25, your lobby leaders, raining down upon them. And Wildcard just kind of stuck in between multiple teams. We take a look at the map here. It's ESG 303, and then Cool2 BGBG. This is one of the Mexican teams, part of North America, also playing in the PMPL Americas, raining down shots against Wildcard. So another one of our favorites in a very uncomfortable position.
Oh my goodness, Egon. And it's like, you know, the game knew. Everybody, we can't go to the beach right now, guys. Things are closed. That's fine. We can take you there in game. It'll be lovely. Except this time around, got lots of assault rifles. That's ideal. As we're seeing Tempo Storm going to work on every single team that's going to look to rotate around through this. They've got the compound. They're using the vehicles to plug up the doorways as well. Give them additional cover to work with, because, of course, you can rip those doors right down. Spectre and crew just haunting the map right now and not letting anybody walk away scot-free. They're taking a little bit of damage in response, though. Yeah. And we are going to be able to get no problem, I think. But every single team is going to look to rotate in. This is going to be a bloodbath. Degon, his Spectre is going off, able to get a first down here as well. The team is going to help Tensa. Oh my goodness. I talked about how chaotic this game was going to be, and things are just getting started.
Yeah, it was Russell with the sniper shot. I believe it was an M24 That was the one that took down Tensa and making all of Tempo Storm feel uncomfortable. Tempo Storm still inside the circle. Circle God's blessing Omen Elite as well. And Simplicity have worked their way on in. Valhalla looking to send it at some point. And as you saw Tempo Storm take some shots at, the Wizard Tower that Extreme Slayers sent it to outside the circle, they're going to have to go yet again or do a heal strat. But they're starting to run out of a lot of options. SK just gets knocked out by Wildcard here. And so welcome to the big leagues, SK. We'll see you guys later. Snake getting taken down. And now Wildcard with a full send here. Beach Banana, he's holding on tight while Acer driving the motorcycle on through. And this is crazy. They're going through 303. They're going through SH. Will they be able to get themselves in this compound? Is this compound even untouched? They don't know. They clear it out. It looks like they're safe. And now Spectre taking some shots from distance. Enigma gets dropped here. And a daring move here by Wildcard does give them a little bit more life. They will hang on for a little bit longer while Nefarious is starting to move closer to him.
Tribe Gaming, Wildcard, Tempo Storm. Those teams might sound familiar for those of you who tuned into the Mobile Open before, because these were our top 3 teams from Season 4, Degon.
Yeah.
This is incredible. All 3 of them now, 1 compound apart. Clearly, the shot calling from these touches have identified what the valuable real estate is, but it also just means they are in the line of fire right now. But like an angry porcupine, they are shooting outwards in every direction. And this house has spines, D-Gun.
Yeah, definitely does. You don't want to play with this porcupine, this house, with any of it at all. But you're starting to run out of real estate. There aren't a lot of covered places. Like Tempo Storm has some prime real estate here. This would be going for millions if they lived in California as they continue to rain down shots on 303. 303 making the rotation a little late. You could see they're trying to use the ridge to their advantage, but Zeke using the Dacia, trying to get himself to safety and make sure he can get his teammates revived. He's the last one alive. Smokes have to come out, and I think them moving a little too late is going to cost them. Shots coming from distance. It's Simplicity cleaning it up, and 303 going out in 11th place.
Simplicity from the flank, able to pick up some of those kills, going every which way. The teams that made those daring plays, the risky moves, that rotated in early, they are being rewarded right now. But all 3 of these teams, Degon, are going to have to move. The circle has shifted, and at this point, they're just playing chicken, and the dinner is on the line. Somebody has got to go first. Somebody has got to make that move, but there are teams who are a little bit more favorable, a little bit more northernly here, that are going to have that advantage as well. Oh, my goodness, this is going to get intense.
Yeah, absolutely is. As Circle Gods have been blessing Omen Elite over and over again. We follow along with Spectre taking those shots and dunking down Wildcard yet again. Wildcard, they've got to move. They are the furthest point from the circle, other than Alucard, still surviving in this little tiny corner of this complex. Remember, we followed along with him earlier. He held his shots against Tempo, and he survives. And now Tempo making an aggressive push here against Wildcard.
Oh, you can see that they're deciding it's time to take this fight over, running in through the smoke. Full auto, point blank range. Can they get the shots in? And Tempo Storm did not blink. Not one single member going on down. And that is going to be that. 3 quick kills in quick succession. Degon, that's how you rate a compound.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not the only action happening right now, though. G25 and Omen Elite will be going back and forth because they have Juicy inside the circle. G25 was forced to move on in, and Omen Elite clean sweep. No one drops on their side. Angry gets knocked, but he'll get revived. And Omen Elite with a clean push onto your lobby leaders, while they also have the member inside the circle holding the compound. Following along with Endgame now, Kato is the only one that survived. I believe Ironsight unfortunately disconnected, but with 3 members, he was able to sneaky snake his way on into the circle, just like Alucard's trying to do. Will he be able to get the first aid in? Yes, he will. Tempo Storm now pushing on in. They're going to run right into Coltu BG, and it's a bloodbath. Tensa trying to get himself inside, not quite able to. The circle takes him down. Omen Elite starting to rain down shots on one of their nemesises, their nemesi, I suppose, as they continue to use the circle to their advantage. Tempo Storm out in 5th place.
Oh my goodness. The circle just pushed them in that last second. They had an amazing play to go in, take down Wildcard, but I cannot believe it. It came down to just trying to take that one vehicle. The last member of Cold 2 BGBG able to just hold on, hold tight through all of that. But it is Omen Elite now that little farmhouse compound there, Degon, right in the middle of everything. That is about the best possible place they could be right now, and they are taking shots. Simplicity is being pinned down. We only have 4 teams left. After all this, we went from about 10 teams to 4 teams in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was a crazy stretch there. Followed along with Wildcard, followed along with Tempo and the journey that they had. And I think Tempo got, as they almost always do, got the best efficiency out of what they were dealt with. They had the short side, the long side of the circle. They had to sprint on in. And Cool2 BG had been sitting there for quite some time. He's is currently sitting on 5 kills as we follow along with Simplicity's Irish. He's putting a dent into Zute's plans. Zute goes down. And Omen Elite need to figure out a contingency plan. The send it call has been made by Simplicity. Lolo already on in, and the rest of Simplicity following on up.
Got the 2 downs onto Omen. They know they need to follow up now, but it's going to be Juicy up against the world. The nades are doing so much work. My goodness. All 3 pushing out, though, facing down Juicy at point-blank range. Can he get the nades through? That's going to be absolutely massive as Minwoo is going to drop as well, but they're trying to get the flank. It's Irish and crew. Can they get this done? Degon, Omen Elite are standing their ground.
They are standing their ground, but only 2 members left alive, and it's Juicy and Nico with the big flank. Juicy comes on through and finishes off Simplicity. You like the gusto, you like the play, but Minwoo went in by himself, tried to get a jumping Uzi shot, gets taken down, doesn't give Simplicity the ability to flank along with him. Omen Elite respond, 2 members left on up out of the 3 teams left, and it looks like this is Omen Elite's game, and a fantastic snake game out of Kato. Again, started out with 3 members because Ironsight disconnected. They were one of the last teams to rotate on in. Kato with 3 kills, and now in 2nd place, looking to make a miracle here.
He's out of bed.
Yeah, he's out of bed. Okay,
bed.
so he'll go ahead and deny the point, but your overall victor, blessed by the Circle Gods and decisive play, it's Omen Elite. There's a reason why this is one of the top teams in North America.
My goodness, Omen Elite came in, looked absolutely solid there. Beautiful play from them. Still, I have to give so many props, though, to Endgame, who, again, started that off, down a player, and still managed to finish in 2nd place. That just goes to show that their timing on these late game rotations is pretty darn near flawless.
Yeah, that was crazy. Props again to Endgame. I just want to say how difficult it is to play a game like that when you lose a player early on out of your own hands, and then to figure out a way to still be competitive in the game and get yourself so many points into 2nd place. It's huge as we take a look at the Xperia highlights from the first game of Season 5 of the Mobile Open, brought to you by Sony Xperia. Started off with our first kill of the day, Snake. They didn't like this too much from square one as Joker went down and his gaming experience, not so fun. And you follow along with this. Poor Joey, Glacier, another new face coming on through. Hello, this is Tempo Storm. We like to kill people. You are the next one we're going to knock here. And then Snake losing another one in the form of Siberia, all the cold names. And this was a good send there by the new guys, Extreme Slayers, trying to work their way on into the Wizard Tower, not quite able to. Wildcard with the crazy send, but Tempo Storm right on top of it. And as Slicky tried to get the peek, he gets dinked. Enigma tries to take a peek, he gets dinked as well. And this is just what Tempo Storm does.
They're just solid. They're just consistent. And when the time came for them to pull the trigger, Degon, pull it, they did. They pushed on in. It was that 4v3 situation, wild card, just drawing what's low, a 2 deuces. I don't know how cards work. You're the one who plays, but you understand. They didn't do so well in the end. It was Simplicity as well who tried to make some magic happen here with that final push into Omen Elite, but Omen was able to hold firm. And my goodness, there's a reason this is in our Xperia highlight, because this was a star showing from Nico and crew.
Yeah, and you saw the play there, and you could see the coordination and basically hear the comms between Nico and Juicy. Nico saying, hey, there's a box here in front of me. I'm going to go get that. Juicy, come get the flank. Juicy comes on through, supports his teammate, gets the kill. And although Simplicity had the numbers advantage early, it was a 4v3 when Simplicity made the call to push. Omen Elite calmly dealt with it. Huge nade, huge nade, the one that you called from Juicy to slow down the push. Minwoo a little too aggressive. And we've seen Minwoo make those plays before, especially when he was on Ninth Circle, get popped immediately. And then all of a sudden, Simplicity looked like they hesitated a little bit too much. Omen Elite decisive, win that gunfight, win the game.
I mean, when the entire team starts off either dead or at 2/3 HP, that's a disadvantage you just can't come back from. That's one nade, one decision that was played beautifully. Again, Simplicity looked stellar all game long, but just deciding in that final send, I wouldn't even say there's even technically anything wrong with it. It was just a great counterplay from Omen Elite, and that's what allowed them to walk away with the victory in game number 1. But of course, Degon, that is only our first game of the day. We'll say goodbye for you to now. Thank you so much for that amazing Xperia highlight. Before we jump on to a break, though, I need to give a big shout out. And it is, of course, to AT&T, the presenting partner of the ESL Mobile Open. They've been with us for the last year and a half, helping to support the grassroots of mobile esports. We could not do this without them. It is fantastic to see how much the scene has grown. You've heard me and Degon talk about it. The fact that these players started off at humble beginnings way back in season 1 are continuing to compete, are continuing to step up, are continuing to put on amazing performances. And again, none of this would be possible without the support from AT&T. So thank you so very much. And if you at home want to stay involved, you can do so by following along on social media, !social in the chat, particularly over on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with all the highlights, when the broadcasts are going to be, and maybe, I don't know, news about upcoming seasons. That's definitely a great place to stay informed if you want to catch everything for PUBG Mobile here for the ESL Mobile Open. But that's only our first game of the day. We have 4 more amazing matches coming your way from myself and Degon. You do not want to miss it. We're going to go to a short break. We'll be right back in just a minute.